What's up? You're listening to Fresh Floppies, episode 38.
You said what's up, yeah, but you were trying to do the...
Yeah.
You thought you were doing the full intro.
Yeah, but I didn't.
What's up to all the sidekicks and hench folk out there in the geek nation? Designated nation. It's a nation. Do you pay taxes?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
No, the geek nation.
Oh, I also pay, yes,
Yeah.
to the Geek Nation. I have to pay it in Geek Creds.
I was going to say, what's the currency of
It's
the geek
Geek
nation?
Creds. You
Geek
have to pay
creds.
it
How
in
do you
creds.
earn geek creds? Takes on Twitter?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Hey, it's time to talk about the Fresh Floppies, the freshest Floppies.
The floppiest floppies.
The floppiest freshes. They came out this week. Floppies are comic books, so we're going to talk about a handful of them today that come out today, Wednesday.
With spoilers?
Without spoilers.
Without
you
spoilers.
Dummy.
Oh.
Come on.
I forgot how this happens. They took a week off.
We're going to start with Cobra Commander #1 from Image Comics, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Andrea Milano and Annalisa Leone. So, Noel...
Yeah.
I grew up reading the G.I. Joe comics from the 80s. That's actually what got me into...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
From the 80s, and that's what sort of got me to love comic books and read them on a month-to-month basis. And so
that doesn't track. I thought you loved Spider-Man.
I did, but G.I. Joe is
both?
what got me in. Yeah. That's yeah.
Again, I think you're losing geek cred now because you're
gaining geek cred?
You're only allowed to hold one thought in your head
I
at
see.
a time.
Oh, my bad.
You gotta love something until you want to hurt everyone about it, or you don't.
And my version of the Cobra Commander that I was growing up in the comic books, written by Larry Hama, was just a schlub who was a used car salesman who happened to start a cult, and that's how he became Cobra Commander. This is a very different Cobra Commander.
You know what? I don't have as deep of a understanding or nature. I just watched the cartoons. I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with like the meme of Cobra Commander, and then I also read the IDW relaunch years ago.
Yeah.
He never. I've read other people kind of talk about it, and I think this is exclusively the cartoons. He never struck me as a coward so much as a extreme opportunist. As in, if it's not opportune for me to stay here, I'm fucking out. If it's not opportune for me to fight, no. Like almost like a pure opportunist.
I always thought he was a bit of a coward, and that may have a lot to do with the voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always had this little warble. Whenever he's retreating, he sounds absolutely terrified, and he's always throwing. Yeah. It's hard to sound.
I am manly.
Yeah.
Was once a man.
That hurts so much.
But this very different. So for everyone who doesn't know, there is a shared universe called the Energon universe that's being spearheaded, or not spearheaded, completely done by Image Comics, spearheaded by Robert Kirkman of Void Rivals, and we got Daniel Warren Johnson on Transformers, and now Joshua Williamson on Duke, as well as Cobra Commander.
This is like the Hasbro Energon universe brain trust. It's basically those three writer artists, and I mean, Duke and Cobra Commander are set to be 5-issue miniseries. I bet you $1 gajillion for the safest bet in the world. G.I. Joe official will be at the end of these 2 miniseries. These are 2 like origin miniseries, and they're both incredibly different than the origins we're aware of. Before we talk about this book, I struggle to even. You can't talk about this book without spoiling.
Yes.
The entire book is a spoiler.
Right.
As in, preconceived notions gone.
Yes.
If you know anything about Cobra Commander.
Unless you've seen the movie. A
a
lot of this comes from the movie
but
version.
only like the second half of the movies. No. You know what? I wouldn't even go that far because a lot of people... We're old. Gene.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I got some gray in me.
They don't know... Like, I think the line is blurred between the continuity of the movie, the continuity of the shows, which didn't always follow the continuity of the movie, which happened in between of the shows, and then the comics afterwards. So I think you could just not talk about any of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And just... Would you implore people to pick this up?
If you are at all interested in G.I. Joe, Absolutely. I think this is great. I love Duke. I love Transformers. I love Void Rivals. This whole Energon universe has me hook, line, and sinker. I'm digging the hell out of it.
I would agree with you to a point. I don't think you need to be interested in G.I. Joe.
Okay, great. That's even better.
I think this is an awesome out-of-the-box kind of starter. And I think this one, Cobra Commander was stronger than Duke as a first issue, personally. Because it's fucking weird.
It is weird.
And it just swerves right into the weird.
Yep.
And then keeps one-upping the weird. And I'm like, this felt like a bigger swing, and I just respected it a lot more.
The
Duke
other one's
was great.
more real world.
And they did, like, I think the twist of Duke is that they broke him down immediately off panel, and now it's him trying to, like, in conspiracy theory circles, and it's kind of different. Yeah. Whereas the only other Duke we've ever known is hotshot alpha male punches walls to hit faces. There's walls in front of faces, and he punches through the wall to hit the face.
I see. There it is. Okay, gotcha,
he's super strong man.
Yeah.
But this, I think, was a bigger swing, and I really dug it. What did you think of Andrea Milano's art?
Oh,
I've never heard of this person.
I have no idea who it is. I think it works great. I think it's perfect for the book. I like it a lot. It's a little Tom Riley.
Yeah, both of these books have a similar aesthetic, which excites me even more. Yeah. I really think that they should just collect them together.
It's like with a dash of Jorge Corona, I think, in there as well.
Yeah, all right. I think it's a little bit more like Tom Riley with a dash of who's drawing Void Rivals.
Oh,
he's got such a long name.
Yeah.
De Felice.
No.
Leonardo something.
Shit.
Leonardo Donatello.
What was it? Outcast?
No, it's not Outcast. It's the Philadelphia one, Oblivion Song.
Yeah.
I forget his name. I'm sorry.
I'm
so sorry, everybody.
You're a real jerk.
Piece of garbage. So yeah, pick this book up. Oh, it's right here.
Lorenzo De Felici.
Will we cut this? No.
Lorenzo De Felici.
De Felici.
All right. Yes.
Cobra Commander, very fresh.
Fresh AF.
Fresh AF.
Fresh AF.
Fresh off. What's next on your agenda?
My liberal agenda is Avengers Twilight by Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Acuna. This is book one of the far, far, far future. Well, not the far, 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 far future of the Marvel Universe.
Woke book number one.
And I had no interest in reading this because I generally don't care for any of the end books. Venom, the end. Avengers, the end. Blah, blah, blah. They were doing a bunch of them where it's just like, hey, here's a future that will never actually happen, but we're going to tell a story in it anyway. But then...
We're all bad.
Well, yeah.
There wasn't a single good one.
I wasn't, yeah. So I was like, I'm good. I don't need to read more of this. But you're like, it's Chip Zdarsky. Yeah, what are you doing?
And Daniel Acuna. I really like Daniel Acuna.
This is some of Acuna's finest work. This is great. I would say a little busy color-wise at times, but I think that is...
He got smacked in the face with the Rod Reese stick.
Nice. But the future is also very neon, so I think that's on purpose.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it does seem kind of busy, but it works for me.
Yeah.
This would be even better if it was oversized.
What'd you think of this book?
I thought this book was really fun. So with these kinds of like far future stories, it always takes a bit for them to kind of introduce you to the ordinary world or the new world.
Yeah.
So like, there's two ways to do it: a big old opening scroll and a shit ton of like info dump text boxes, or you just have to be patient and the characters will like slowly set it up for you. Mm-hmm. This does the latter, and I appreciate that a little bit more.
Same.
But it does require you to just stick with it for a second.
Yeah.
Because you will meet people that you don't know, and it does the groundwork, and I really appreciate it, and I think it ends in a really cool spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
This was a fun book.
This was fun. Yeah, I'm not reading, so a customer came in today, and I was like, Avengers Twilight just dropped, you might want to check that out, and he says, is that tied into the Avengers book? Because the Avengers right now, the regular Avengers book, is having a story with the word Twilight in it.
The Twilight Council, I think, is a group of baddies. It's a good book.
And I was like, it's not related at all.
You should catch up. Because it is a fun, stupid. It's a
the
stupid
trade
fun
just
book.
dropped, so I'm excited.
This is fun. This is strong. I think it's fresh. I don't have it pulled, and I don't feel compelled to pull it. I think it'll just be like a really good trade later.
Yeah.
But I could see people really loving this, especially like Zdarsky stands.
Yeah.
Because he captures the voices really well. This feels like so Chip Zdarsky, in other than his Daredevil work at Marvel, he has done a couple of these. What was it? Spider-Man Shadow something.
Yes.
And True Story.
True Story.
But there was also the Venom book, like the future Venom book. It's actually in the omnibus. It was a what if miniseries about older Peter Parker and like what if the Venom symbiote did something else.
Yeah.
But he's found himself a little niche, in this kind of space of what if stories, but a little bit more elevated than just basic what ifs. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to remember the name of it.
Shadow faces. Shadow of the Spider Shadow? Shadow Spider?
Spider Shadow. Shadow. Anyway, this was fun.
This was good.
I think it is fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh. It's not fresh AF. It's better than fresh enough.
It's not double stuff
fresh. These are two excellent comic book creators, just kind of like crushing it. Like, yeah, it's strong. No. You're pulling for their next book, but I want to play a game called Previously On.
Okay.
Previously on Fresh Floppies, we weren't here last week.
Yeah, okay, yeah. One of my favorite Previously Ons was from the Clerks cartoon, and I believe it was the first Clerks episode, and it said, Previously on Clerks, and it's just the beep, like the nothing is playing bars on television.
Didn't that show actually have a bunch of fake Previously Ons later on, too?
Yeah. But my favorite was the first one, because there was no previous, and it was just like...
my favorite Previously On was the series finale of Buffy, where they literally did a supercut of the entire 7 seasons beforehand in like 15 seconds.
Oh, fun.
It was like flashing shots constantly of everything leading up to the series finale. I thought it was fun. And then there was actually like a hidden Easter egg on the DVD set too, of like if you pushed left on a certain episode or whatever, it showed you that Previously On.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like stuff like that.
But that's beside the point, because we're doing Previously on Comics We Didn't Talk About. Something very, very popular came out last week, and we didn't talk about it. It seems as though if you're listening, if you're at all on comic book Twitter or just,
God help your soul.
in the space, it seems to be the only book that everyone enjoyed. Literally everyone. Even like the biggest haters were like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
I saw one hater who hated it.
Oh, really?
So there was one. There's at least one.
Well, that hater is stupid.
And I blocked him anyway.
And
It's fine.
I'm talking obviously about Ultimate Spider-Man #1, written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Marco Cicchetto. I would like your thoughts on this book. You
Loved
read
it.
Yeah, that's it.
Loved
okay,
it.
we're done.
I
Moving
loved
on.
it. Now, me loving it does not take away from my also enjoyment of Amazing Spider-Man, because I'm seeing a lot of that discourse online of like, see, they're finally giving the fans what they want. It's like, you guys, just because you hate it doesn't mean you're the fans. Like, it's very frustrating for me. But my one thing, and I didn't even think of it, my one thing was someone had said, should have been Gwen. It's like, now I want to know what happened to Gwen in this Ultimate Universe, because damn, it should have been Gwen.
Nope, vehemently disagree. I think...
calm down.
I
You can casually disagree.
Vehemently disagree because you're fucking stupid. Yeah. No,
well,
I don't think it's like if we were gonna play the OTL One True Love game, it's Mary Jane. It is. But Gwen taught him how
Betty
to
Brant.
love. But I do love the idea of, for all we know, we're gonna see where Gwen is in this.
Wait,
in this
no,
alternate,
I'm not saying it actually should have been Gwen at this point in the relationship, but I do want to know what happened to Gwen.
And I think
I want
that's
her to be part of the story and maybe still be alive.
I think that's an awesome, rich piece of the story that is out there.
But otherwise, like going through the issue and being pleasantly surprised by other things, I was like, "Oh, this is great! Look what they did with that! I like that!" So I don't want to spoil it because it did just come out last week.
I thought it was wonderful too. Yeah. My only real criticism is I think it should have ended one scene earlier.
Yeah, you did say that. Mm-hmm.
Only because it's such a stacked issue.
It was
Perfectly
a bit of a road to get where we got.
Perfectly paced. Gets you right up to the edge of the cliff, and then it seems like it's speed rounds like the whole last scene.
Yada yada yada.
And I'm like, no, I'm willing to take my time on this. Like just setting up the one little bit and then like leaving to see what his choice is, let alone instead of just rushing all that end part. But yeah, no, it was an A-.
And when it comes to Hickman, I find can be a little bit impenetrable and a little light on the charm of the characters that he's writing. But this was filled to the brim with character moments and charm that I really enjoyed. I almost forgot I was reading a Hickman book.
I will also push back against that.
Oh, you can.
Yeah. I think Hickman gets a lot of flack for being inaccessible and impenetrable and cold, and that comment usually comes from people that have not had the opportunity of reading his Fantastic Four run.
I did not.
Of reading,
me.
yeah,
Shit.
of reading Decorum, which was adorable. Of currently reading Gods, like he is one of the most versatile writers currently working in. I know he gets a lot of flack for being this like cold infographic crazy person, but he writes some of the most heartfelt, enjoyable, grounded shit too, and everyone seems really surprised. Even his when he started X-Men, the whole X-Men project, the Krakoan era, which is ending, the X books were almost that kind of cold, calculating, but his first miniseries of New Mutants was a straight up comedy, and people were like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
like he's allowed to do more than one thing. So,
I
think he's crushing
people, it. You know, someone had tweeted like, "Oh, I couldn't go one page without an infographic," but the thing they showed was just the logo and then a previously on.
Yeah,
that was not an infographic.
I saw that same post and I commented. I was like, "That's not an infographic. That's a recap."
Yeah.
Like, welcome to the club.
Which, hot take, every issue should have a previously on.
Well, the next two issues we're going to talk about that did come out this week do have previously ons, and the first one is Gang War: Jackpot #1, written by
Bronfman.
Celeste Bronfman. Celeste Bronfman, with art by Joey Vasquez and Eric Gapstor. You know what? Not going to cut it out. Favorite part of this book was the recap. No, just kidding.
No.
I do like all of these Gang War tie-ins having the map of all the territories, and they all are changing in each issue as to who takes over the territory and who's currently occupying it, which is really cool. But yeah, favorite part of this book, Paul.
Yeah, you are a Paul fan.
I am the president of the Paul fan club. No, this is Mary Jane's new status quo. In her adventures in that other dimension with Paul, the idea that symbols in the right order can manifest some sort of power with blah 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 tech. She becomes the new Jackpot, and Paul is her dude in the chair.
Yeah,
and they have a very healthy, wonderful relationship, and I'm down for it.
And they're going to therapy.
Yeah, they're going to
deal with the loss of their adopted children.
Which was gut wrenching.
Yeah,
they're an excellent team. They have a wonderful chemistry, and she's out in the streets. And I dug this. This was fun.
I was about halfway through it, and then I went, maybe I don't like this as much, because I was excited about it. I have been on. You had gotten me on the Black Cat train from Jed MacKay. Her series was awesome.
Yeah,
and I loved the little one shots that Jed MacKay would do with Mary Jane and Black Cat, and I was like, more of that. I love this. This is great. I also really love the Hallows Eve miniseries. So I'm really enjoying the sort of like ancillary characters of the Spider family getting their own little miniseries and one shots and what have you. It's been fun.
But
this one just felt a little YA to me. I was excited about it. I want MJ to do well. I want her to have her own thing, because the one thing that kind of bothered me about her relationship with Peter that we got for 20 years when they were married is a lot of it was MJ gets kidnapped. MJ is dead. MJ is on the other side of the country filming movies. MJ is
it was
sitting
just a lot of ways to get MJ out of the scene.
MJ's sitting at home looking out at the rain, hoping Peter comes home safe. So giving her own agency, making her a character, fun. This felt like a YA book to me as far as the writing was concerned. It was a little too cutesy. What do you say? Too cutesy by half?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's fine. I'm not mad at it. Like I think some of the internet is. But
Are they?
I kind of just wish it was written by McKay. I think I would have had a
Oh,
better
well,
time.
I mean, I feel that way about most books that Jed McKay should just write them.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things of this that I really like. With that said, I'm going to caveat it with it. I think there's a mini series coming, Black Cat and Jackpot by this same creative team. Yeah. I'm probably not going to pick it up. Yeah. But I like the setup. I like the costume. I like the power set. I like her and Paul. And I'm very sad about Peter and Felicia breaking up.
Yeah.
However, if it's because we get best friend Peter and Felicia, or sorry, best friend MJ and Felicia, like doing stuff together, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's the only trade-off I'll accept.
I was really bummed as well because I'm super into Pete and Felicia being together long term. I love that.
Me too, but Felicia knew Peter's a goddamn mess, and she chose a more healthy, stronger relationship to not mess up for it.
Who's her new relationship?
Mary Jane. She chose her friendship over Peter.
Oh.
She basically, because like the very next scene after there's like, look, you're not ready for this, big guy. Yeah. I love you. I'll always love you. You're great. Deuces. And then like the next scene is her like supporting MJ and giving her the costume and trying to get her to like.
Interesting. I didn't
continue
think that
to mourn,
way.
but
yeah, that's cool.
It wasn't an explicit choice, but it literally is the trade-off we got. Like she's a supporting character for MJ now, and they are friends. They're like
cool.
good friends. And
They've always, watching their relationship develop over the years has been fun because they were very snarky at each other for a long time.
I'm here for the platonic love affair that is them because like it kind of was orchestrated by Jed McKay too, because even in the Beyond stuff when they would have their one shots, that was Jed McKay. He built up Black Cat to be this like very wonderful, fully fleshed out character, and this is even though this book didn't just blow me away, and even though this book didn't blow me away, I am here for this little corner of the the Spider-Man.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me.
Universe.
This would be something that I can hand to customers though, and be like, oh, if you're looking for like a YA thing, you can jump on now.
I would hand this to them if I am out of Black Cat and I am out of Hallows Eve.
Oh yeah, I loved Hallows Eve. All right, let's wrap it up with Sandman Universe, John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America, #1 from the Black Label DC books. Simon Spurrier on the words with Aaron Campbell and Jordi Belair on the arts. Loved it.
Oh,
Loved
that's
it.
No notes.
I loved it. Like just from the first page where a corpse is crawling along outside of the Hollywood sign. And the dialogue that happens, I was like, "Oh, I'm in. This is fun. This is fun. I love this."
Yeah, it's they don't give you like a. Oh yeah, a few weeks earlier. Okay, yeah, that's great. The implication obviously is that's John.
Yeah,
which I dug.
And we got a whole page.
Yeah,
written by John.
Speaking of recaps, so this is a continue. I wasn't sure if this was going to just be a new miniseries or a continuation of the most recent Hellblazer miniseries that only got 13 issues.
Yeah.
The latter, it's a continuation
this is issue 14.
This is issue 14 essentially, but there is one of the most delightful recap pages I've ever read. Mm-hmm. Just one scene in. It's like a cold open and then a recap page that is in John's voice in context of the current story that they're in, and it was just so freaking cool. This book was A+, fresh as fuck.
Fresh as fuck. I'm not even AF, as fuck.
It's the art is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The John's voice is fantastic. The predicament that he's in, he's basically a decaying corpse.
Yeah. His heart hasn't beat in weeks.
I didn't finish the previous series. Mm-hmm. I think I'm on like issue 8.
Yeah, same.
And this was all kind of a spoiler, but I don't care. It was so fun.
I'm
gonna go back and read it.
Yeah. I'm actually reading. I started. I just finished Hellblazer book 1. You know how they're coming out in the thicker boys. Mm-hmm. I'm finishing. I just finished book 1 of that. But the original team of Jamie Delano and enter artist here. I forget who the artist was, but I'm back in the Constantine world, and it's wonderful. And he's got a kid now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah, who is mute. So
Yeah,
he speaks in sign language.
The sign language is cool.
Yeah.
All this is like, there's so much to like about this book. I think Simon Spurrier should just write John Constantine forever.
Yeah, maybe not Wally West. So much.
I honestly, he could write The Flash. It's not Wally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If that was Barry, even
it would make more sense. That's not the sin of that book, though. The sin of that book is the art.
Yeah.
If it was a different artist and different, just visual aesthetic, then I would probably mostly forgive the fact that Wally's knows a little bit more about science.
And the Speed Force, then
I mean, he's been doing the job for a while, so even like, you know.
Yeah, it's just not his voice, though.
Even if you're not a mechanic, if you work in a garage long enough, you at least kind of know your way around. Mm-hmm. So I'm fine with that. It's just, it's hard to get past the oven mitt-sized fingers and 40,000 panels and muddy as hell. Okay, this is not about Constantine. Pick this book up.
This is great. This was awesome. And also, I was not expecting the... There's 2 guest stars in this book that I wasn't expecting, even though you should always kind of expect these people to show up. One was awesome, and the other one was hilarious. Yeah, I'm looking forward to much more of this. This is great.
Yeah,
Fresh as fuck.
This is a good mini.
Yeah. All right. Tonight, on the live stream, we're going to be talking about...
Echo.
The Disney Plus Marvel show that only was, 5 episodes?
5 eps.
Perfect. So join us tonight at 8 o'clock on YouTube, and we'll talk at you later.
High heel shoes, no leg sweaters, acting so tough. Here we go.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.